Police in Sydney fear for the safety of a young model who's been missing for 6 days.
Police believe within half an hour of being dropped off, she was simply snatched from the street.
A young woman goes missing, leaving only a shoe behind. For decades, no one knew what had happened to her until an anonymous tip led to a breakthrough in the cold case. 22-year-old Revelle Balmain was a dancer and a rising star in the modelling world. She also worked as an escort but had kept this hidden from her family and friends. She was last seen leaving a client's home in Kingsford, a suburb of Sydney.
Members of the public found Revelle's personal items scattered in the streets around Kingsford within hours of her suspected abduction.
Revelle's bag, shoes and diary were found in various locations. One of her shoes was found on one street, the other shoe was retrieved from a different street. It became evident that something horrible had happened to her. Suspicion fell on one man, the last client she had met before her disappearance.
Surprising new evidence today, police naming the man they believe responsible for her disappearance.
Gavin Seymour denied any involvement and claimed that he dropped Revelle at a nearby pub after their appointment.
There were scratches on his chest, which the forensic pathologist said were suggestive of fingernail scratches. Said he remembered that he got them surfing.
Police examined Seymour's wetsuits to see if there was damage consistent with his scratches. The results were inconclusive.
He had been the immediate prime suspect in the disappearance, but due to a lack of evidence, he was never charged. It didn't help his case when in 2019, a woman named Rosalind Rosenberg pressed assault charges against him.
I said, "Leave my flat and give me back my key." He stood up and he slapped me very hard.
The charges were dropped when 4 months later, Rosalind died in an explosion at her home.
It was described in court as unfortunate.
Back in 1994, the police were unable to link anyone to Revelle's disappearance. The case went cold. Over the years, numerous theories emerged, ranging from her being a victim of a serial killer to being trafficked overseas. Revelle's family felt that the investigation was lackluster and that the police did not take the case seriously.
I think because the detective didn't care much about escorts, but people can't just kill people and get away with it.
Until 30 years later, when a fresh team of detectives was assigned to investigate. In 2021, investigators received an anonymous tip that may have uncovered a new person linked to the case.
We have information that person could be involved in the disappearance of Revelle Balmain. We want to identify that person and speak to anyone that does know him.
Another person who has come forward is Jane King, Revelle's employer.
But tonight, for the first time, Jane King publicly reveals shocking new details of the night Revelle went missing.
She was one of the last known individuals to have spoken to Revelle. Jane, along with her then husband Zoran, owned the agency where Revelle worked. She claimed that she has crucial information. Revelle had indeed been booked to meet another client on the night she disappeared.
It was for somebody that Zoran knew, a man called Boyan. And the clients were people that he knew. Then he would ask the booker to assign, the most attractive people on the books to those clients.
And that was Revelle Balmain.
Yeah. The client was Boyan Prevolic, a friend of Zoran, who had then arranged for him to leave the country.
Zoran arranged a ticket for that client to leave Australia the next day through a travel agent we used to use all the time.
Much of the focus now centres on Zoran, who regularly drove the escorts to and from their appointments, but claims that he wasn't working the night of Revelle's disappearance.
Did he say that? Well, I wouldn't know why he would say that, because he didn't stay in.
However, it's important to note that he's not being investigated as a suspect.
Why did you tell police initially that you were at home that night when you weren't?
I'm like stuck in a...
Jane also insists that Gavin Seymour should be ruled out as a person of interest.
I just thought he was just way too obvious. I can tell you that his whereabouts were verified.
Jane's own involvement has also been under scrutiny. The morning after the disappearance, Jane contacted a restaurant to confirm her presence there.
The whole conversation, there was a degree of panic.
Adam Irwin, an employee of the restaurant, found the call to be suspicious.
We were in your restaurant on Saturday. Can you identify us? There's a police investigation into a murder. We need to sort of establish that we were in your restaurant. Can you do that?
At that point in time, Revelle's disappearance was investigated as a missing persons case, not a murder.
There's no way I would have used the word murdered. I said missing. I did not say murdered.
Regardless of what word she used, her urgency in establishing an alibi has been a point of contention.
I just thought it was an important thing to do.
But you've rung the restaurant before you've rung the police.
Putting together a clear timeline of events from 1994 could be crucial in solving the case. There is currently a $1 million reward for information into Revelle's disappearance.
We were trying to establish if Revelle was to meet any other person on the night, that being a client, associate or friend, on the night she disappeared.
It may have taken nearly 30 years, but police have now uncovered glaring contradictions that have changed the entire focus of the investigation.
The twists and turns of this case are baffling, but the police, as well as Revelle's family, believe that they are close to uncovering the truth.
We're so very close, and that would be a fantastic outcome.